Hey, huh? Did you train, say your prayers, and eat your vitamins?
You know, I've been doing that since the 80s, since around 85,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Hulkamania, brother. What you gonna do? So,
Brother.
yeah. Crazy.
What you gonna do?
So many memories connected to the Hulkster. Rest in peace at 71. Died of cardiac arrest at his home in Clearwater, Florida. Just a sad, sad day for all of our childhoods. Sad week when you think about Malcolm Jamal Warner, Ozzy Osbourne, Hulk Hogan, Chuck Mangione. But we rock out on their behalf.
I know.
COVINO and Rich on Fox Sports Radio, 877-99 on Fox. It's Thursday. Thursday's the new Friday, so the weekend begins now. And because it's Thursday, we do it every Thursday, old school when 50 hits. When 50 hits in life, sometimes you get a little old school, even though 50's the new 40.
Yeah, without a doubt.
We looked it up just for fun. Carol O'Connor, Archie Bunker, when he was doing All in the Family, was about 50 years old.
My goodness, he felt 80.
Yeah, he felt 85 back then. And today's 50, not the same. But when 50 hits in life, it's old school.
I don't look forward to it.
When 50 hits on the clock, we throw it back, and we do old school when 50 hits. We reminisce here on the show. We'll talk Tyreek Hill. We'll talk big artists, small venue. Rich has a story, and there's a sports-related story that involves the Rays. But we got to talk about the Hulkster.
Yeah.
What you gonna do, brother? Like, what a shock. And just when we started to process the Ozzy Osbourne passing, you're like, what? Hulk Hogan?
I mean, this is a huge one. By the way, Isaac Lowenkron, good to see you, my friend.
Hey, buddy.
Condolences, brother.
I was saying,
Brother.
what you gonna do, Danny G?
What you gonna do?
Isaac, was there a dunce on this network that questioned you leading with Hulk Hogan?
I have no comment, but
Like, I
check
mean-
the podcast.
I mean, what an ass clown Doug Gottlieb is for saying that you shouldn't lead with Hulk Hogan.
Well,
What are we going to lead with? Green Bay college basketball? Hulk Hogan is an icon.
we're talking about Rich's
Hulk Hogan
childhood
is someone,
hero.
Yeah, he said some questionable stuff. People's impression of the Hulkster changed. But if you were a kid of the 80s, if you were a kid of the 90s, Hulk Hogan, legend, a guy that meant so much to so many people. So to question you leading with him, I heard someone say that. I'm like, my goodness, that guy's lost in the sauce.
Well, you could hear it on the podcast.
Lost in the sauce, I tell ya.
Lowenkron said. But if you're around my age, Rich's age, Lowenkron,
Hold on,
Gottlieb, if you're just a wrestling fan and you're 12,
Come on.
you have to recognize and put differences aside and just acknowledge the impact he had on a multi-billion-dollar industry. I mean, there's not a lot of things as big as wrestling is today. There's not many things that we've seen grow from the beginning to where it is now, like wrestling, and it wouldn't be what it is without Hulk Hogan. There's no question about it.
I was saying, did you just sit by when he said that, or did you just let Doug say that?
I mean, yeah, I did sit by, but later in the show, Doug was like,
Don't let him say dumb crap like that and
it's
get away
his
with
show.
it.
It's not my show. He can,
Yeah, I guess so.
he's got his own opinion on Hulk Hogan, and I just said later that I think that pro wrestlers are athletes.
As do a lot of people, Sam.
So.
I actually, I did acknowledge that on our Patreon. COVINO and Rich, we do a Patreon before our Fox Sports show. And it's a little more raw, a little more uncensored. And you can't tell the Hulk Hogan story without really bringing that up. So the way I handled it was, and everyone's going to handle things differently.
Of
It's
course.
the passing of a legend and an icon, not trying to judge anybody. But the way I did it was, I'm sure a lot of people have mixed emotions about it because you can't take away the things that he said, and it's unfortunate. But it's also a major piece of a lot of people's childhoods, and you don't want to dump on that either. And you can't take away from the impact he still had, regardless of how you feel about him, in a gigantic industry, which is wrestling, sports, and entertainment.
A multi-billion dollar industry.
So, yeah, I think it's fair to say I understand if you have mixed emotions about it.
Of course.
But you can't take away the impact.
I mean, look at it this way. There may not be a person that meant more to the industry that they were in than Hulk Hogan meant to wrestling.
Honestly, I think of one. That's Babe Ruth. And he is the Babe Ruth of wrestling.
That is maybe the only analogy. What Caitlin Clark is doing for the WNBA.
Right.
Maybe what Magic Johnson and Larry Bird did for the NBA.
There's far and few examples of people that put the league, the organization, the company on their back and carried it. The way Caitlin Clark right now, my goodness, her lower back must hurt from carrying all those other women because they care about her. Hulk Hogan was the headliner before The Rock, before Roman Reigns and Stone Cold and all the Cody Rhodes. There was Hulk Hogan. Because before that, it was just like foreign dudes grappling. Remember, it'd be like, let's get a Polish guy, Ivan Putski, and he'll grapple another hairy middle-aged guy, Bruno Sammartino. Like, that was what wrestling was.
Before Hulk Hogan, wrestling was also regional and local, but it was not national.
Yeah.
It was always, hey, on Channel 5 or Channel 13 or whatever, the regional station, you've got wrestling every Saturday afternoon. Or at the local Dive Tiny Arena, you have wrestling. It was a regional, local thing, and Hulk made it national.
Yeah.
And let's remember, too, how we all felt when we saw this wrestling superstar in Rocky III as Thunder Lips. That's when you knew, like, wow, this is really getting big time.
Or in No Holds Barred, Dookie.
But when it started crossing over into that mainstream and that MTV culture and the Cyndi Lauper stuff and the Mr. T and the celebrities, that's when you really started, even as a kid, noticing, like, wait, this weird little thing that I'm seeing here every once in a while, Saturday mornings, it's really blowing up and it's becoming a thing. And I remember, I think we all, if you're around that age, remember going to your parents and asking, is wrestling real?
And I think they were a little confused as well.
They didn't know how to answer that because it was all still so new and fresh.
And,
this is all in part because of the success of Hulk Hogan. It all rode on him. It really did. So, like him or not, you can't take that away. And you also don't want to lean into that when someone just passed away.
And you know what? Separating the art and what they meant from personal mistakes. Listen, we all still listen to Michael Jackson music, right? You all still watch movies and listen to music of artists, and you watch teams where athletes have beat women and done horrific things.
I will say this, Richard.
I mean,
it's touchy. It really is. It's touchy, but you also don't want to mess with people's childhoods, right? Because people are going to get near and dear. See how defensive Rich got just now?
I mean,
because you're talking about someone you idolized as a child. It's your childhood. You're not saying, I love the man and who he was and what he represented and the things he said.
Yeah.
You love what he meant to you back then as a kid, and you can't take away what he did for the industry. So when people want to lean into the negative, it's going to turn some people off. But also when you ignore the negative, it's going to turn some people off. It's a touchy situation. And I'm choosing to say, wow, what an impact he had on something we all loved at one point in our lives.
Yeah.
It's like video games. We all loved them growing up. And either you continued on that path or you moved on from it. I sort of moved on from it, but I still have a near and dear soft spot to it in my heart. But some people still lived and loved that wrestling life.
It's bigger than ever.
It's bigger than ever.
You or I may not watch Raw and SmackDown every week, but when you were a kid, my childhood in the late 80s, 90s could be defined by baseball cards, football, and wrestling. Until I discovered boobs, until I discovered women, my life was a trifecta of the Mets, the 49ers, and wrestling. And I think insert your teams and Nintendo.
Yeah.
Your Fab Four, your core four as a child.
When you think about it,
was
boobs
like
really took you off track, you know?
Boobs,
you
know what?
You took your Keith Hernandez poster down for
My
Cindy
Crawford,
Crawford.
yeah.
And perhaps Miss Elizabeth helped contribute to that from a wrestling vein.
Oh, yeah. I remember when the Mega Powers exploded over Hogan
why?
being the luster.
You know why else you connect so hard to these memories and they mean so much? I mean, we wouldn't have them if it wasn't for the Hulkster and him body slamming
Dude, you were
Andre
watching
the Giant. But you would call your friends over. Your memories are so closely connected to this because you would have your friends over or you'd go to your friend's house for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You'd have a night with your buddies, maybe a sleepover. These were the best times in your life. So you don't want to hear anyone dumping on those moments.
And you know what? You were watching the Hulkster slam Andre the Giant the same year you were collecting the Wood Border 1987 Topps baseball cards.
Yeah,
so
those were the primo days of your childhood.
If I could drop Steve Covino in, let's say, 1987 and you were a little schoolboy, and you had your binder full of wood border 87 Topps cards.
87. I was wearing eye black like Don Mattingly.
You were doing your
I had
little...
a mullet like Dan Gladden. It was a big year for the Twins. I was watching wrestling, and I was collecting, like you said, those wood border Topps baseball cards. 1987 for sure. That was a primo time for a lot of us if you're around that 40 to 40, between 40 and 50 years old.
Hold on. If you're talking 80s mullet, though, 86, 87, are you going to go Gaetti, or are you going to go Phil McConkey? You are a New Jersey guy.
Wow, as far as mullet, I don't know. My dad, Big Steve Covino, had a pretty legendary mullet. Now, based on the loss of Hulk Hogan and some of the things you may have heard here on Fox Sports Radio throughout the day, 71 years old just adds to a really wild week where, again, your childhoods have taken a bit of a hit. Is there another person as impactful to the industry as he was to wrestling? We mentioned a few. I'll even throw Ozzy Osbourne in there because it's fresh on the mind, but metal and rock, not just metal, because metal's an acquired thing. Not everyone's into heavy metal. I get that, right? But rock as a genre would not be what it is without Ozzy Osbourne. So you could say, him to metal, Hogan to wrestling, the Babe to baseball. Like certain people, it wouldn't be what it is today without them. What else comes to mind? And impactful deaths, because I think this is one of them. And again, for some people, it's different. For some people, it might be a little bit of a conflicting sort of feeling because they don't forget what he said.
But I would say the death of Hulk Hogan is one of the bigger ones over the last handful of years.
You're going to laugh, Rich, but
we just happen to have the Prince of Darkness and Hulkamania both die in the same week. And the reality is, funny I should say reality, they were both larger-than-life guys, so much so that in their later years, they both had reality shows where they followed around their families. We were fascinated with Ozzy Osbourne. We were fascinated with Hulk Hogan.
Hogan knows
to get
best.
to get a look inside the household of the Hulkster or Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon. That was...
Hey, Rich, you want to share that
was a big
story
deal.
real quick? We used to tease Rich that, he was in on the family. Like, Rich always had a greater bond than I did with the Hulkster. Not because the Hulkster liked Rich more. That was one of Rich's heroes. I always admired watched wrestling like anybody else. Rich loved Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, Joe Montana, and Alf, right? And Gary Carter. That's Rich's childhood right
I thought you
there.
were going to say Gary Coleman.
So
him too.
the Hulkster embraced us, but he embraced Rich especially because he meant a lot to Rich and his childhood. There was one point, can I say it?
Yeah, I went to the Hogan's house for lunch, and when I was at the Hulkster's house, I remember seeing a closet. And when I tell you, a row of yellow tank tops, how you would imagine it.
Boas and tank tops.
That is so cool.
Bandanas, red boots.
Just a straight up this is the guest bedroom, and you just saw a closet. It was yellow tank
Wait a minute,
tops.
the one in Bel Air Bluffs, Florida?
The one when they were doing the reality show in Florida.
Oh, my God, and that was a gorgeous house, too.
Yeah,
Whoa.
And the other fun fact, I don't know if Rich is going to say this, but I'm going to play you behind the velvet rope. They were trying to write in a love story for Brooke. And it was, bending the truth a little bit because clearly Brooke was younger and she had a crush on Rich because they would stop by as a family on our show. And they wanted to write Rich into the show as Brooke's older love crush.
It was true story.
I swear to God.
It was a thought, and I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah, well, Rich was in a relationship, but they were like, are you open to this? And Rich couldn't look past her and not see Hulk Hogan's face. You know what I mean?
But you know what? They were always kind to us. And I know people have mixed emotions about the Hulkster, but, he was an icon.
Yeah, but
much like you said, the names are far and few between. What Magic and Larry Bird did to start the NBA.
Another controversial one. You mentioned him already, though, but would pop music be what it was without Michael Jackson, the king of pop, right? He's a guy that brought everybody together because he was undeniably great. If you were a rock fan, a disco fan, a reggae fan, whatever fan, you're like, Michael Jackson's pretty awesome. This is pop music. He's the king of pop.
He survived what R. Kelly couldn't because radio stations are not playing R. Kelly music any longer.
Because it's so damn
But they're
good,
playing
yeah.
Michael Jackson
Also,
still.
it's just better. Michael Jackson's music is
Well,
better than
it
R.
is.
Kelly.
It's
Oh,
it's timeless, and obviously, since he
But
was
again,
a kid, he was a huge star. But the other one that comes to mind really quick, Covino, I would have never watched golf in my adult life had it not been for Tiger Woods.
That's a great. I mean, that's
And,
honestly
and
same.
he's
He
had a
made it
lot
cool.
of controversy in his life, obviously.
They all, dude. Michael Jackson, Tiger. They all have controversy. You don't have to love everything about the man to acknowledge the impact that they had, right? I think that's fair to say. So 877-99 on Fox. Wow, little bit of a touchy subject, but again, that's how impactful the Hulkster was. What are your thoughts? Is there anyone else as impactful, and any other deaths that hit you as hard? There's a commonality. There's one I have, Rich, that comes to mind, and you may think I'm joking, but I'm not. But there's a commonality there. Because Paul Rubens, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman, was one for me. And I know that sounds funny, but so much of my humor and so many of my quotes and references and childhood fun with Pee Wee's Playhouse and so much fun I had with my friends watching Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Got the chance to meet him a few times. He and his comedy meant so much to me that when he passed, I felt terrible about it. And the commonality is that we grew up in a time where these characters, these artists, these entertainers leaned into the gimmicks so hard that that's who they were. Paul Rubens was Pee Wee Herman. Terry Bollea was Hulk Hogan. And we bought into it and loved every second of it. And that's honestly one of the benefits we have of being 80s kids and growing up in that time. I wouldn't change it for anything. But when he died, I felt like a part of my childhood died a little bit. And that's how a lot of people feel today.
I wasn't like a mega fan of this guy. But I remember really being bummed when Chris Farley died. I don't know why, because I just felt like he had so much to give.
Some just hit you harder
I
and
just-
different than
You
others.
were not a mega fan? Or
No, I mean, like,
you were a fan.
I was a fan, but it wasn't like, man, Farley is my favorite. I just remember,
That happened a long time ago
It was-
now.
but it
like,
was right in the-
97?
you know what it was?
You know
I
what,
was,
I'm surprised.
I was in the heart of like my high school immature, like Sandler, Farley, David Spade, and I just remember being like, that was in the pocket of that 90s, late 90s comedy. So when we lost Farley, I was like, oh,
It's
man,
funny you
for
say
real?
that. You say Farley, and of course everyone was saddened by that, right?
Yeah.
But I remember, because I've been doing a show with Rich for 20 years. I remember Rich being oddly upset. And again, it's going to be different for everybody, universal for some.
Yeah.
But when Norm Macdonald died, it personally affected you. And I remember you really, really exceptionally personally sad about that.
I was and am a huge Norm Macdonald fan. I feel like his comedy, his timing, his whole awkward presentation
We all have our personal favorites,
was
you know?
amazing. You know, I don't want to put it out there. I won't even name the people, but there's a few people that are alive that I know I will be sad when they're gone. I won't put the old Jamboozy, hex on them, but you know there's a few out there that are getting up there in age, and you will be rather upset, whether they're musicians or some of your favorite athletes. In fact, Danny, we were just talking about it around the time of the All-Star game. We've lost so many baseball legends that guys like Mike Schmidt, 80s players, are now some of the oldest legends. There's very few guys like
Who was the oldest guy we thought of?
Lefty Gomez, I think.
Like
Oh, no, Sandy Koufax, too.
Oh, and Sandy
Koufax.
Koufax, yes.
But we're talking about all the guys you would think of, the Hammer and Hanks and the Willie Mays and that whole Tom Seaver, that generation of
The
guys.
elders are the Schmidts and the Molliters and the Mattingleys of
And
the
then the
world.
Boggs and
yeah,
the- yeah,
they're
those-
the elders, the 80s guys we grew up with. There's the Unks, the OGs, and then the elders. They're the elder statesmen.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad, by the way. Not Lefty, but there were only a couple of pitchers, right, Rich, on that?
I mean, there
on
was
that list?
we were looking up what Hall of Famers are still alive. And when I tell you there was a couple, and then it jumped right to our favorite stars of the 80s and stuff. And I was like, really?
Yeah, Lefty died in like 90, I think.
Well,
It's a long time ago.
But I know. But a lot of the sluggers, though, we were talking about, gone.
Yeah. Now it's listen, it's sad. It's a sad day for kids of the 80s and 90s especially. So your thoughts, we'll take your feedback next. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne, like a wild week. And we'll get to all your feedback next. Fox Sports Radio with your buds, COVINO and Rich.
Now, if you're looking for your next job, you know it could be a lonely process. Let Express Employment Pros be your one connection to finding a job that fits. Job seekers at Express Employment Professionals ranked Express Best of Staffing in 2025 for helping them finding a job. With more than 870 locations, visit expresspros.com. Find the office near you.
With Express, you have your own local recruiter as your advocate in your job search, and job seekers never pay a fee. They never pay a fee. Every year, hundreds of thousands of people are finding meaningful work through their local Express office. Whether you're looking for a role in logistics, such as warehouse positions, forklift operators, or customer service jobs, Express has you covered. Express also hires roles for IT, general labor, and grounds maintenance.
And Express even has access to jobs that aren't posted. Visit expresspros.com to get connected. Find your local Express office today at expresspros.com.
Remember, there's no fee for job seekers. Let Express help you take that next step in your career. Visit expresspros.com today.
Wake up, it's two pros and a cup of Joe, Fox Sports Radio.
You ready?
Yes! I'm Colin Cowherd. This is The Herd.
You are listening to The Dan Patrick Show.
It's the odd couple. You know what time it is. Let's get it.
Fox Sports Radio. Bigger, bolder, and better than anyone in the game. Fox Sports Radio is the #1 sports audio network.
Diverse, fun, entertaining, and driven by the big sports topics of the day.
They had to bolster the offensive line, which they did.
You finally said something right. Congratulations.
That game was incredible. You are wrong.
You could take that trash somewhere else. Wham!
We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all, so I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
I'm your favorite fan.
Thank you.
Love you. You're very talented. You're the best.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Great show.
Thank you, Jim. You sound like Joe Pesci.
How am I funny to you?
I can't help but notice that the W-2s for the quarterback look a lot higher.
That's because we're worth it.
You gotta be kidding. He never was an elite quarterback.
This team is unstoppable.
He made the right call.
You know that's right.
LeBron James is a legend.
No, he's not. He complains all the time.
You say Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but Eli Manning beat him twice. Wrong. Wrong.
For 25 years, Fox Sports Radio has dominated the sports audio landscape with the biggest talent and the best programming available.
We talk sports and we have fun doing it. We talk about life.
Sports radio is where you go after the games are over, and then the discussion begins.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
It is live. It is unscripted. No other medium can touch that.
And that's what makes it special.
Yes.
Who wants some?
Bigger, bolder, better. We are Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah.
Wake up, it's two pros and a cup of Joe, Fox Sports Radio.
You ready?
Yes.
I'm Colin Cowherd. This is The Herd.
You are listening to The Dan Patrick Show.
It's the odd couple. You know what time it is. Let's get it.
Fox Sports Radio. Bigger, bolder, and better than anyone in the game. Fox Sports Radio is the #1 sports audio network.
Diverse, fun, entertaining, and driven by the big sports topics of the day.
They had to bolster the offensive line, which they did.
You finally said something right. Congratulations.
That game was incredible. You are wrong.
You could take that trash somewhere else. Wham!
We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate you all so. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
I'm your favorite fan.
Thank
I
you.
love you. You're very talented. You're the best.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Great show.
Thank you, Joe. You sound like Joe Pesci.
How am I funny to you?
I can't help but notice that the W-2s for the quarterback look a lot higher.
That's because we're worth it.
You gotta be kidding. He never was an elite quarterback.
This team is unstoppable.
He made the right call.
You know that's right.
LeBron James is a legend.
No, he's not. He complains all the time.
You say Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but Eli Manning beat him twice. Wrong. Wrong.
For 25 years, Fox Sports Radio has dominated the sports audio landscape with the biggest talent and the best programming available.
We talk sports and we have fun doing it. We talk about life.
Sports radio is where you go after the games are over, and then the discussion begins.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
It is live. It is unscripted. No other medium can touch that.
And that's what makes it special. Yes.
Who wants some?
bigger, bolder, better. We are Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah.
Wake up, it's two pros and a cup of Joe, Fox Sports Radio. You ready?
Sad, sad week. Really is. Hey, he was a real American. Hulk Hogan.
Sorry, I
And-
was doing some push-ups in the hallway.
That's right. Because the
Brother,
Hulkster told you
brother.
to. Did you
Yeah.
take your vitamins? Did you say your prayers?
Yes, I said I did all of this. My demandments.
Well, let's remember, too, as we...
I still have my Hulk Hogan workout set from 85.
I'm not surprised. I'm
Oh.
not surprised. He still
The-
uses 10-pound weights.
The
I'm
little,
not
hand, the little
surprised.
hand grips, the
Yeah.
10-pound weights.
Are you surprised by that?
Yeah.
It's not like you got those pythons. Now, he's the real American in a time where the WWE really leaned into those stereotypes.
Right.
I mean, in a crazy way looking back, but we have to, as a culture, remember it was just a different time.
Yeah.
That's just how it was, and he was the shining light in a time where you hated the Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
In a fun way, right? In a fun way,
Yeah.
but he was the guy.
He did
was
have
the
cool,
hero.
the Iron Sheik did have cool boots, though. Remember his
He did.
boots had the curl and the point on the end?
And he
Yo,
humbled you.
The Hulkster even had the best ice cream bar on the planet.
Oh, yeah, I remember that for sure.
How chalky and terrible were those WWF ice cream bars?
And on a Throwback Thursday, let's not forget the cartoon, right? The wrestling cartoon.
Rock and roll wrestling.
Exactly. And he had his CDs. Remember, he was always jamming out and playing guitar. And he was a nice dude. We've interviewed him many times.
And of
we had a
course-
lot of moments with him. You know what we did, Danny G, as we reminisce a little bit too? We would have him call up people we had problems with. Like, you hear how Rich is clearly, like, agitated by Gottlieb today, right? Because you're talking about Rich's childhood hero.
Yeah.
And a lot of our childhood heroes.
And we get
right?
it. Hogan said questionable, dumb things, but no one's perfect. And I look at him as my childhood hero, not a
Yeah.
man that made mistakes.
It's
right?
it's mixed emotions. I get that, right? Whatever. But let's say we wanted to really give Doug a piece of our mind in a playful way. We would have the Hulkster call up people on our behalf, like,
Listen to me, brother. You got a problem with my main man, Rich Davis.
This
brother.
is a true story.
actually
True
had
story.
that.
There was a girl I was talking to, and her ex-boyfriend was lingering.
was threatening Rich.
And he was threatening me, like, you go near her, I'll kill you. And I'm like, yo, You're her ex. Get out of here. And I told Hulk this story on the air, and he goes, what's his name, brother? He called this guy and left him a voicemail.
Brother.
Like,
You're old news, brother. Rich is the new man.
I remember his name and everything, too. Like,
What was his
but
name?
His name was Spencer.
Spencer.
Let me tell you something, spinster. Spinster.
Can I call Spencer too? This is great.
Dude, it was so funny. So like, the Hulkster, it was like so much fun to have a larger-than-life hero, like almost a cartoon character in your studio and in your presence.
Man.
He was that guy, man. And he's a guy who took a lot of pride in saying, I remember, he could be anywhere in the world and people would recognize him because that red and yellow and the mustache, the handlebar mustache, was so synonymous. The headband was so synonymous with wrestling. He put it on the map. So
What was his fun fact?
it was him, Muhammad Ali, and Mickey Mouse at one point.
With
the
the
most
three most
recognizable figures in the world. You could be in a hut in the middle of a jungle, is what he said, and they would know who Hulk Hogan was. And based on that, is it fair to have mixed emotions? Yes. Is it fair to say, hey, it's a huge part of your childhood, so back off? Yes. But is there anyone as impactful to the industry as him? There's a few examples. If you want to name some others, by all means do. And then other just impactful deaths, because when a guy like that passes away, a big part of your childhood passes away. It's sad. That's what's going to hit you later on,
It
Rich.
will. Listen to this. I know I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but I really think Iowa Sam, your girl, Caitlin Clark, is the most recent example of someone that is doing more for their industry, sport, or company than anyone else.
I have a question
The
for you.
WNBA was on life support, and Caitlin Clark is going to get these women huge raises. They fly differently now. There's attendance records. They have network deals. Caitlin Clark is the Babe Ruth, is the Hulk Hogan, is the Magic and Larry Bird of today.
Who
I
would
really
you
feel that
say?
way.
Who would you say is that for the UFC? Because that's another industry we saw sort of from the ground. Well, yeah, from the ground up to where it is now. Is there one person that stands out? Like, yo, there wouldn't be a UFC if it wasn't for that guy.
I don't think there's one guy.
Yeah, I
guess
can't
there-
think of
You know
one.
why? I guess there's different divisions.
Yeah.
No one's undefeated. That's not like a thing. So there's not,
We got to give Mike Tyson love for boxing.
Mike Tyson or Ali, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say Muhammad Ali, but Mike Tyson for a different generation, absolutely. But Hulk Hogan was and is that guy. And you see not only to our childhoods, but did you see Ric Flair today? He couldn't keep it together. I mean, it's so sad. So people are speaking out, and who would have thought he'd go before Ric Flair?
Right.
It's so sad to see your heroes and childhood heroes go down.
Now, if you're watching on the live stream on the Fox Sports Radio YouTube page, I don't know if it's accessible spot, but you can look it up on your own. If you go to @RichDavis or @COVINO_RICH, I posted a video. This is about, got to be 10, 15 years old. Hulk Hogan, we did a step-by-step instructional. He taught me how to rip my T-shirt off.
It's weird that you still do that at the beach, though.
And in the bedroom.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Hey, you know what?
Oh, poor Sarah.
Sometimes my wife will ask for do the Hulkster. I'm like, oh,
Do you drop the big leg?
and then at the end, I do the whole I put my hand to my ear.
Just when you think Rich isn't ready for round two, he hulks up and he brings it again.
What you gonna do, Sarah?
That match was not scheduled for one fall.
No. You know what, Rich? Because we got to get to the phone calls, and of course Tyra Kill and Old School and 50 Hits. I can tell you straight up, we're going to talk about the top Hulk Hogan moments on Overpromised, our bonus podcast. That's an hour and a half from now on Fox Sports Radio's YouTube
We'll
page.
save it for there. We'll play the videos and stuff.
Yeah, yes. It's more of a video thing. So we'll do the top Hulk Hogan moments on Overpromised, our bonus show, later today. So join us live. That's at 4 p.m. on the West, 7 p.m. on the East. Fox Sports Radio's YouTube page. And, there's a related pay-per-view story in the news. So we'll talk about pay-per-views because, again, these are the best times of our childhood.
No doubt. In fact, that's what Sean in L.A. hit us up with. He's listening on the iHeart app, and he said, yo, whatever people's feelings on Hogan are, put that aside because he was such a part of our childhood. If you're 30-something to 50-something, you grew up with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Undeniable.
Undeniable.
Undeniable, brother.
Absolutely.
And as I love the the Maury clips. I'm sorry, you are not the brother.
I know.
Contrary, 23andMe proved.
By the way, not only did he change our lives, he changed the culture of wrestling because all those dudes spoke like him with the brother and brother and brother.
Yeah.
They all did.
Brother. All right, let's go rapid fire, and then we'll go to Isaac for an update. Danny G, Who we got, man?
Sir, let's start with Evan in Los Angeles.
What's up, Evan?
Hey, Covino and Rich, longtime listener. I love you guys.
Oh, thank you, man.
I'm like you, Rich. I grew up with Hulk. As just like my dad loved Hulk. Like I got the saying "brother" from my dad. Like he was like, "Hey, brother, this is what you're gonna do." It was just he taught me like, and then I didn't even know who Hulk was, and they showed me Rocky, and he's like, "That's the Hulk." And then after that, he showed me all the Hulk videos. He found stuff from swap meets to watch like Hulk and Andre the Giant wrestle, and he's like, "That's," because I was a Stone Cold Steve Austin fan.
Does anyone remember going to like Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, and they'd have those Coliseum home videos, like those random wrestling tapes you would rent with your buddies? Yeah.
Speaking of Thunderlips and Sylvester Stallone, Stallone did post, "I had the pleasure of meeting this brilliant personality and showman. He was just 26 years old."
Wow.
You believe Thunderlips, Rocky 3, he was only 26. He was absolutely wonderful. Amazing skill. Made Rocky 3 incredibly special. My heart breaks that I think he's gone.
You know, coincidentally, today is the anniversary of Eye of the Tiger hitting #1 on the charts.
Get out of here. What?
Yeah, the anniversary. All right, let's go to who, Danny?
Richard in Tacoma.
What's up, Richard?
Hey guys, I love you guys, man. Y'all get me through while I do a dash every day.
Oh,
man.
thanks, man.
Y'all crack me up every day.
Thank you, man.
You're the man. Thank you.
That.
Oh, so in the South, I'm from Alabama, but I moved up here 20 years ago. In the South, we always say a group of three. You know what I'm saying? That when people start passing away, and one of my other heroes, Theo from the Cosby Show, he just passed away.
No doubt. He was the first of the three, and we acknowledged it
We
for
talked
sure.
about that on Tuesday.
And, of course, Ozzy and the Hulkster. And on a side note, and it's a shame it's a footnote, but jazz legend Chuck Mangione also passed away today at the age of 84. And he's most famous for having an instrumental song that everybody knew. It was like an elevator song that everybody knew. It was such a hit when we were kids. It came out in 77, Feels So Good.
Yeah.
And ironically, we feel so bad talking about it.
Well, let's keep the phone calls coming. Who do we got, Danny G?
Let's go to Tony in Oregon.
What's up, Tone?
Hey, Tony.
Hey, thanks for taking the call, guys. Yeah, 51 years old. That's right in my wheelhouse. Early or late 80s, early 90s WWF wrestling was freaking awesome, dude. There were so many good guys. You asked, who passed away, a famous person that's kind of that stuck with you. It was the first person that came to my mind, and I kept thinking, and I was like, no, I mean, it's not even someone I really liked. I actually hated the guy. He's my nemesis, but I respected the hell out of him, and that was Kobe Bryant. I'm a Blazer fan, and that guy ripped my heart out several times. But that really affected me when he died.
On a personal note, but also a very public note, we all remember where we were when that happened. Everyone has their story, and that's a great example because I wouldn't consider myself a Lakers fan by any means, but we were all Kobe fans and respected the Mamba mentality, what he stood for, and the girl dad stuff that he was all about and what he was doing with his kids. We were headed to the Super Bowl, and we remember seeing time stop at the airport when the news broke, and everything went in slow motion because you saw everyone looking at their phone.
Yeah.
We like, what's going on? Something happened.
Saw strangers crying.
Yeah.
Well,
I get chills thinking about that.
A TSA agent break character and start tearing up. Like some hard-looking TSA guy was like, he said, "Yo, is it true?" And I'm like, "I think so."
Yeah.
And this guy started crying.
Everybody stopped at the airport. Like it was a really wild experience.
The girl who checked me in at the hotel there for Super Bowl week, she was blubbering. She couldn't control her emotions, and it was weird. It took the wind out of the sails for the entire week.
Hugely impactful because it was so sudden and so tragic. And on the personal note, like I said, which was public, Rich and I had to do a live TV show for ESPN that night, and the fan fest of the Super Bowl, and it was the most somber broadcast live because we had to do Kobe coverage.
It was Kobe coverage. Meanwhile, there's marching bands at the Super Bowl behind us.
Yeah, behind us was like.
That was the most awkward thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, it's really awkward.
Danny, let's do one more for now, then we'll go to Isaac for an update. What's up?
Blake in Illinois.
Yo, what's up, Blake?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Thank you for taking my call. I grew up in the early 2000s. I was born in 96, so I was a big movie guy. And one person that really struck my chords that passed away was Robin Williams. not only for his comic stand-up, but his movies. I feel like they were iconic. You can't, especially how he died, that just really sucked the wind out of me.
Robin Williams is definitely on most people's list of celebrity deaths that sort of hit him.
If you were a big rock fan of the 90s, you have to say Kurt Cobain, too, because of how much he impacted music for that decade and that generation. There's so many examples of that in the world of entertainment, unfortunately. And, again, it's going to be different for everybody. But when you think about, again, how big Hulk Hogan was to wrestling, it's understandable why so many people are upset today.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Isaac Lowenkron for an update. Ilo, what up, man?
And indeed, fellas, that is our top story, the passing of pro wrestling icon Hulk Hogan, dead at the age of 71 after suffering cardiac arrest at his home in Clearwater, Florida. Here was one of the many, many, many highlights from the Hulkster's epic career. This one, a victory over Macho Man Randy Savage in 1990 with Vince McMahon and Jesse the Body Ventura on the call.
Hogan drawing the energy from all of his Hulkamaniacs. A right hand. Another one. Another one. Savage beginning to rock for a big fight. Hulkster drops the leg. 1, 2, 3. It's a fast count.
Classic.
And still World Wrestling Federation champion Hulk Hogan.
And I'm sure the Mean Gene and the Fink welcomed him to heaven.
Oh, boy, that is so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about the
Ilo, I
Fink
said
was
this.
his name?
I said this on our podcast, Covino and Rich on Patreon. Very similar to like Ali and Cosell, the relationship they had.
A great analogy, yes.
Mean every quote. Anytime you're quoting the Hulkster, you always throw in a Mean Gene.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. You're right, very Cosell
Right.
Ali, right?
That's a great point because I think what makes it so memorable and nostalgic was the perfect storm, the confluence, as we said, taking it from a local and regional sport to a national sport. There was Mean Gene. There was the advent of cable television. There was the Friday night main event on NBC, and it all came together at that time to make him so iconic. In the NFL, New York Jets quarterback Justin Fields dislocated a toe on his right foot in practice today, but Fields is expected to be ready for the regular season opener against the Steelers. One Major League Baseball game in the books. The Baltimore Orioles won at Cleveland 4-3 despite 2 home runs by Stephen Kwan. Back we go to Steve Covino and a man who turned down an offer to be Hulk Hogan's son-in-law, Rich Davis.
True story. True
Thank
story.
you, Isaac.
Thank you, Isaac.
Listen,
Lowenkron.
we're going to get to some NFL. There's a really interesting Tyreek Hill story we're going to get to. We'll talk a little quarterback if you're watching that on Netflix. And we'll go old school next right here. Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio. When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking
joking.
Bo Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best.
You were dating some girl, and you were like, hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense. Her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win,
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the funk.
We're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar? Yeah. Go up to a cute girl and say, oh, look at that bozo over there. And I'll point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all so. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, Covino, loves to just challenge us with random Mike Tyson trivia.
Which accomplished celebrity purchased my sprawling Connecticut estate?
I'm going to go 50 Cent.
You are absolutely correct, 50 Cent. I love his song.
You can't schedule a big event during a big sports moment.
My family member scheduled their wedding the same night as a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Everyone was glued to that fight instead of doing the electric slide.
This is weak.
Unbelievable. You're very tricky.
America, you got sports, you got fun, you got us.
Covino and Rich.
We're crushing it.
It's Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. Are you ready?
Yes! We talk about pop culture, we talk about sports, we talk about life.
It's a friendship on the radio. When you talk about the best athlete in the world, you're probably thinking Jim Thorpe, right?
I'm thinking
joking.
Bo Jackson.
I'd have to throw myself at the age of 12 into the conversation.
You are the home run champion. When you find the commonality between sports and life, those analogies and conversations are the best.
You were dating some girl, and you were like, hey, babe, let's watch The Sixth Sense. Her mom walked in. Can you believe he was dead the whole time?
I wanted to get up.
Well, slow down, Dana White.
I don't want to say It's never boring.
If the Chiefs win.
Sorry, Patrick Mahomes here. What do you mean by if the Chiefs win?
Our friendship is real. It's authentic. You can't fake the funk.
We're the type of guys you'd want to hang out with at a sports bar. Best way to pick someone up at a bar? Yeah. Go up to a cute girl and say, oh, look at that bozo over there. And I'll point to you. We could make fun of each other, poke each other a little bit.
I call him Blubber Lips, Rich Davis, because he never stops talking.
He thinks he's the Mexican Fonz.
Yeah.
At any point, he's wearing a chain. You have a chain on?
Always.
Of course he has a chain on.
That's like asking me if I'm wearing cologne right now. Of course I am. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and interactive on our show. Just the more the merrier.
Josh, Covino thinks that every man should own a leather jacket.
I only wear vegan leather.
Can you believe this guy?
I can't believe this guy. We have a very special connection with our audience, our listeners. People feel that friendship.
And I appreciate y'all so. I love it.
It's all for you. Thank you.
Mike Tyson, Covino, loves to just challenge us with random Mike Tyson trivia.
Which accomplished celebrity purchased my sprawling Connecticut estate?
I'm going to go 50 Cent.
You are absolutely correct, 50 Cent. I love his song.
You can't schedule a big event during a big sports moment.
My family member scheduled their wedding the same night as a Julio Cesar Chavez fight. Everyone was glued to that fight instead of doing the electric slide.
Yo, the Eye of the Tiger, absolutely. Anniversary of this song, huh? Well, we know that Rocky had the Eye of the Tiger, but so did Thunder Lips.
Yo.
Live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, Covino and Rich. And it's time for our Tire Rack play of the day. We're going to get to your phone calls, so hang tight, 877-99-FOX.
Can you do that while I do some squat thrusts? Or?
Yeah. You do your one-arm push-ups.
Okay, perfect.
But right after our show ended yesterday, we all gathered around the monitors watching Freddie effing Freeman.
The righty deals. Freddie, left field. It is
Not caught by Bader. Bitch scores. Ohtani behind him, and the Dodgers walk it off. I love when the Randy Newman kicks in. That's courtesy of 570 AM Dodgers Audio Network. And, be honest, great win. I think Harrison Bader should have caught the ball. Just saying.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, a win. I'll take a win on an error no matter what the day is. But, hey, that's a big win for the Dodgers trying to get back on track. For over 40 years, Tyra has been on track, helping customers find the right tires for how, where, and what they drive.
Ship fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection with convenient installation options like mobile tire installation. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Now, we got to do old school and 50 hits, but we had 2 quick phone calls as we remember the late, great Hulk Hogan.
The Hulkster. And as we said, it's the anniversary of Eye of the Tiger hitting #1 on the charts, coincidentally. Do you know the fun fact about Eye of the Tiger being the theme for Rocky III? If we're all fans of Rocky III, remember Karate Kid, of course? You're the best around. That was supposed to be the theme for Rocky III. When you listen to the lyrics, it lines up with Rocky.
Well, he says, history repeats itself. They're talking about repeating itself in the boxing ring.
But at the last minute, they go, it's a little too soft, and they went with Survivor, Eye of the Tiger, and then they shopped that song to Karate Kid. Look at that. Fun facts. All right, 2 quickies, and we'll go old school. Who do we got?
All right, John in Nevada.
What's up, Johnny?
Hey, guys, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Hey, I don't want to say exactly where I live, but Steve Austin is my neighbor, and he told me that Terry did more behind the scenes to help people out than you could ever know.
Well, remember, not only did he put the industry on his back, all the guys that came up with him, they were only making money when they were on his cards and when they were wrestling him. Like, he put a lot of money in their pockets because he was the guy making most of the money, but they weren't making money unless he was part of it.
All right, one more quickie. Who we got?
All right, before we go old school, Tom in Iowa.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah, I'm here.
What up?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. When I was 12 years old, I seen Harley Race wrestle a bear at the high school arena down here, and I'm like, that set me up for Bulldog Bob Brown and all the rest other wild ones. But Harley Race, yeah, he wrestled a bear, and then the bear beat him and chugged a Pepsi. I'm like, wow, that was. Of course, the bear had a muzzle on. But
I'll be honest, I don't know. You might have just smoked too much weed and dreamt that. King Harley Race fought a bear?
By the way, it wasn't a bear. That was George the Animal Steele, you dope.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, he was just a hairy guy.
All right, well, look at the clock. We go old school every Thursday. Let's go.
There's a certain.
Yeah!
What we gonna do right here is go back. Back into time.
Throwing it back for a Thursday. Old school when 50 hits. At 50 after, CNR give you the time capsule topic, and we reminisce together.
All right, so let's set this up. We get you involved, Fox Sports Radio Nation, 877-99 on Fox, with the passing of Ozzy Osbourne, metal icon, Prince of Darkness, the creator of the metal sound. When you think of, Rich, your favorite album, Pile Driver, growing up, right?
Well,
we saw a meme, and the meme said, it's a 5-hour drive, and you can only listen to one artist. Who's that artist?
That's a good question. And you know what? It's interesting enough. I went through the Black Sabbath Ozzy catalog the other day, and I knew way more Ozzy than I thought I had known.
Right.
So what is the artist that you could listen to for 5 hours straight? And, if you want to add a little fun in this, what's the artist that you would dread listening to for 5 hours straight? So your favorite and worst, we'll take your feedback next. Doing it live, COVINO Rich, Fox Sports Radio. Hang tight.